the chat if you need it, and we're in child's pose. So those of you who have been in child's pose for a while, stretch your arms forward and your hips back. Press your forehead into the mat and rock it side to side. Now walk your arms to one side, both arms all the way off the edge of your mat. And even if you're not on a mat, walk them as far as they go. Switch. Come back to center. Tabletop. Come up onto your hands and knees. Cat cow. Move your spine. So my name's Danielle. This is an hour of cool flow. I guess it's not really cool. It's whatever temperature your space is. Some of you, like autumn, I see you're outside. If you're outside, it's probably not cool at all. Take one arm straight forward and the opposite leg back. Stretch your arm and leg away from each other. So the goal of poses is never to get the perfect shape or the perfect pose or anything like that. And it's easy to feel like that if you like Google the word yoga. The goal is to create shapes that bring your body and your mind into balance. The goal is to discover your body in a new way. Switch sides. That creates better self-literacy, better understanding of how all the parts work as one whole. I love this pose because it's so simple, but when you hold it long enough, you start to discover like how much it takes to actually hold yourself here. Keep your arm up. Keep your leg up. Take a deep breath in. I know you're getting tired. Stay. Downward facing dog. Deep breath out. Press up and back. Let your head go now. Walk your feet to your hands, ragdoll. Bend your knees a lot. Roll up. Once you get up, roll out your shoulders. If you want to move your head and neck, stretch out your neck a little, do that part slow. No need to jerk your head around. You can get your arms going too if you're still doing shoulders, like big circles with your arms. And find your steady center and bring your hands to heart. Get your feet underneath you so they feel like a stable, strong base. We'll open class with 1 Om. Take a deep breath in. May this practice guide your body and guide your mind toward equilibrium, harmony, and balance. You know, the body and the mind tend toward that naturally if we can just get out of the way. Use this practice as a guide home. Reach up, take a deep breath in, open your eyes and look up. See your hands up there. See the ceiling, whatever's on the ceiling, or the sky, and whatever's in the sky. Forward fold. And let your head drop toward the floor. Soften your knees so there's no stress in your back. Halfway lift. Now you can work towards straighter legs and turn on your hamstrings. Plank pose. Just like you got your feet under you in Tadasana, get your hands under you here and take them just a little wider than you thought. So the magic L of your hands, your pointer and your thumb, is what's actually under your shoulders and pressing down to lift you up. And then imagine your hands are on like the tightest of pickle jars you've ever experienced in your life, and dial your fingers out a little. The same way, if the head of the jar wasn't moving, your hand wouldn't really move either. You have a firm grip on it and you're turning with all your might, but your hand's not moving anywhere, like that. Take a deep breath in, hold it at the top, let a little bit of pressure build. Lower all the way to the floor with your exhale. Touch down. Lift your head, chest, and like uppermost ribs, cobra. Really small back bend for cobra. No need to create a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. Now touch your forehead back to the mat. And imagine you're peeling up like 1 more inch each time. Lift a couple times up to bigger and bigger cobras. As you keep coming up, start calling on your back muscles to pull you from the floor like a hand up. So yes, you're pressing into your hands, but you're also looking for your back muscles to pick you up and pull you away from the floor. Yeah, next one, stay up. Breathe in. Down dog, breathe out. Come to the front of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold, exhale. Reach up, inhale. Bow forward, exhale. Half lift. Plank. Breathe in. Hold it at the top. Let the pressure build. And come all the way to the mat. Let it all out. Cobra, peel yourself up. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards your spine like glass sliding doors. Downward facing dog. Come to the front of your mat. Half lift. Fold. Reach up. Look up. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Plank. Take your knees down this time. Instead of coming all the way to the floor, come halfway down like a push-up for chaturanga. Don't let your shoulders drop lower than your elbows. That's the magic key. Keep your head up. Okay, lay on the floor all the way down. Now peel up cobra, so your hips stay down for now. Peel your upper body up. Dial into your hands like you did in that first plank. Lift your gaze so you're looking just a little higher than your eye level. You don't have to throw your head back or anything. Now press into your feet so your legs activate. Press into your feet so much that maybe your hips and your thighs and your shins come up off the floor too. Yeah, Gabriella, awesome. Downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Bend your knees. Come to the front of your mat. Halfway lift. Fold. Reach up, inhale. Look up at your hands or the ceiling or the sky, the clouds, whatever you see up there. Bow forward. Half lift. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Look forward. Come forward. Halfway up. Fold in toward your legs. Let your head go. Reach up. Take your arms wider now and lean back a little. Bow forward. Half lift. Chaturanga. You could always do cat-cow too. Up dog. Down dog. Gaze forward. Walk or jump there. Halfway up, fold, chair pose. So you probably can't see yourself, and that's ideal because it's better to actually feel for this. You want the shape of your chair pose to be like a thunderbolt, like fierce. So pick your arms up higher, sit your hips back further, everyone. Bend your knees a little more so they move forward in space. Yes. And then do it all again. Arms up higher, hips back further, knees press forward. Take a deep breath in. Bow forward, empty out. Halfway lift. Chaturanga or cat cow. Up dog. Down dog. Step 1 foot forward. Warrior 1, come on up. Everybody try on scooting your front foot forward a little more. Take a longer stance. Take your arms to goalpost arms, so elbows at the height of your shoulders. Spread your fingers out wide like you're doing the splits with your fingers. And then press your upper body back like you're looking for a wall back there. Like imagine you were gonna lean back into it. Take your chin up, look up. Deep breath in. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Other side, warrior 1. Take the same variation, a little bit longer in stance than you thought. Goalpost arms with your gaze upward. I want you to find the fierceness of this pose. So all the poses are aiming to bring you back into balance, right? Physically, mentally. And so every pose has its own elements, whether it's like fierceness or fire, like ease or water. They all have their own elements, and those elements are what you want to maximize in the pose. Like here, the fierceness, the strength. Okay, chaturanga, in order to bring more of that in balance. Up dog, the yin and yang. Down dog. Come to the front of your mat. Halfway up, deep breath in. Fold, let your breath out, pour it out. Chair pose with the fierce thunderbolt shape that you created before. Forward fold. Half lift. Chaturanga. Up dog, inhale, look up. Down dog, exhale, drop your head, look at your toes. Warrior 1. So you can get the physical fierceness of warrior. And then like the roots of this pose, the warrior pose, Virabhadra, is all related to this story of the humble warrior, the noble warrior. Take a deep breath in, and chaturanga, let out your breath. Up dog, breathe in. Down dog, let it out, and step to the other side, warrior 1. Right into your fierce, noble, yet humble warrior. So right now, like especially right now in our world where there's so much happening, the call is for each and every one of us to rise physically, to stand up, maybe verbally or emotionally or energetically. Right? The call is to rise. And so this pose brings in that, physical element of fierceness. And yeah, like let it bring in the energetic through your thoughts, like every thought going through your mind as a fierce yet humble, no ego warrior. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Warrior one, other side. So the pose, the story behind the pose talks about a warrior named Arjuna and the fight that he had to kind of like take or stand up to was really one he didn't want to. And it was a hard fight against people that he loved. Like his family was kind of dueling. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Other side, warrior one. Fierce warrior. But when talking to someone that he really respected and looked up to, the conversation was all around dharma and how you have to, do the things, especially the hard things, fight the hard fights when it comes to like what you're here on this planet to do. Your dharma is your path. It's what you're here for. And we all have a path. And it takes courage and fierceness to walk that path. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Look up, breathe in. Down dog, let it out. Walk your feet to meet your hands and split your feet apart pretty wide. Turn your toes out, yogi squat. I'm going to spotlight someone that you can see. Bella, can you back up just a little from the camera so you can actually see the shape of the pose? Just in case. Thank you, Bella. Anyone needs to see the shape. Yogi squat. So Bella's feet are down, like her heels are down, and that's great. Or if you're on your toes and your heels are up off the mat, that's great too. And she has her hands at her heart center, Anjali Mudra, or you could have your hands down to help you balance. Just find what works. Take your eyes low to the ground, Bella, or even close them. So now you like stood up and these fierce warriors put all that effort in. And now give yourself a second to like let those poses land in your body. Soften the space between your eyebrows, your cheeks, your jaw. Breathe in through your nose. Let it out through your mouth. Now press into your feet and rise all the way up to standing. Adjust your feet and legs so they're under you. Bring your hands to your heart or your hands to your hips. Lift one leg. Pick your knee up higher than you thought. Straighten your legs. See if that could work out, at least for a couple breaths. Pick it up higher than you thought. Grab your knee with both hands, pull it in toward you. As you hug in, stand up real tall. Pull your arm bones back. Switch legs. Start with your hands at heart or at your hips. Pick it a little higher. That's it. Straighten it out. See if that will work. And if it's not going to work, and you'll know, just go back to a bent knee. Pick it a little higher, Elizabeth. Gina T, pick your leg a little higher. Gina H too. Okay, grab your knee with both hands. Give it a good hug. Give yourself a good moment of, love. You know how good a hug feels? Give that to yourself right here. Tight squeeze. Drop your foot. Reach up. Fill up your lungs all the way. Forward fold, empty them out all the way. Half lift. Plank. Drop your knees. Take one arm forward, one leg back. Opposite sides. So here we are at the same spinal balance pose, and yet it's so different. It's a whole new world, a whole new moment, a whole new pose. Take your arm and your leg out to the sides. So if you have limited space, don't worry, just bend your knee or bend your elbow. Go more out to the sides, like straight from the hip, straight from the shoulder. Come back into center, reach back, see if you can catch your ankle. If you don't catch it at first, don't worry, just keep reaching for it. There's something really good for the brain in the reaching for, in the searching for. Switch. Start back at spinal balance, other arm, other leg. Take it straight out to the sides. Take your leg more out to the side. Imagine if you, when you had your legs straight back, if you were on a clock face and that was like 6 o'clock, Now you're taking your leg out to the side to either like 4 or 8. So a quarter of the way around the clock, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, try to catch your ankle. If you have a hold of your ankle, lift up. If you're searching for it, keep moving your foot and your arm. Both have to move until you find it one day. The connection between hand and foot back there somewhere. Okay, down dog. Step 1 foot forward, low lunge. So drop your back knee. If you need extra padding, fold the edge of your mat in or go grab a pillow or a blanket or a t-shirt. Joy, that was brilliant. I'm gonna spotlight so we can see your mat real quick. See how she folded the middle of her mat into a couple layers so she has more padding for her knee. Okay, take your arms up. Eagle arms. Crisscross your elbows. If your upper arms won't come together, like there's a block there, no worries. Try to tighten up the crisscross of your elbows and just work your 2 forearms to move upward, just as much as they'll go. If they're pretty close, try to hook your fingers around your thumb or your thumb muscle. If they're not close at all, don't worry. Do not worry. Another alternative too, if this bothers your shoulders or elbows or something, is hands and elbows. Close your eyes. Breathe a long, slow breath in and breathe it out. Release your arms. Straighten your front leg, half split. You can walk your arms out far, like Claudia, stay where you are so I can spotlight you. Like Claudia has her hands far out by her foot. Or you could walk them in closer to, let's say, like where your knee is. Or you could even walk them all the way back. Just gets harder that way if you're reaching back toward your back foot, because then you won't have them to balance on quite as much. Standing split, standing one leg raise. So stand on your front foot, take your back leg to the sky. Ragdoll or yogi squat. Ragdoll, really soft and really heavy. Imagine if you're in ragdoll, like you're seaweed in the water, you know, just like floating, swaying. And yogi squat, same like before, drop your gaze really low and soften your face. It's a harder place to soften than ragdoll for sure. Come all the way up. Full eagle pose. Crisscross your arms or do hands and elbows. That's the alternative. It's hard to see with my hair from the side. And crisscross your legs too. I realized I wasn't spotlighted when I did the hands and elbows. So hands and elbows if you want that one versus crossing. Switch, other side. Unwind. Reach your arms up. Deep breath in. Forward fold, empty out. Halfway up. Plank. Pick one hand, side plank. Take your upper hand behind your head. You could put your bottom knee down if you need more balance too. So your hands behind your head, move your elbow back in space, press your head into your hand. Switch sides. Take your hand behind your head. Press your elbow back, opposite of eagle arms. Press your head back into your arms. Could you hold a pose like side plank, which is a challenging pose, and yet still put your attention on your physical body in a specific way? Notice your shoulder blade, upper shoulder blade that you're working with right now. Move it in toward your spine like a glass sliding door. Move your elbow back in space and press your head into your hand. Child's pose. Melt and drop to the floor. Relax your arms. Where's the most comfortable place for your arms in child's pose? Dial your attention into self now. For a second, let all the details of your surroundings melt away. Like everything around you just blends into the background and you become the focus. And we talked about how the world needs people who are, on their dharmic path and, ready to rise up to being fierce, like Arjuna, the fierce warrior who is willing to speak even when their voice shakes. But in order to go there, you have to realize, how important you are, how amazing you are, how strong and resilient you are. Down dog. Step your other foot forward, low lunge. Back knee to the mat, give it some padding. Take your arms up. Eagle arms here. Close your eyes or drop your gaze really low. Half split. Take your hands to the floor. Floor and blocks are interchangeable, of course. Straighten your front leg. Try your hands in a couple different places, either out by your foot or around your knee or back further. See what gives you the most stability, most insight, I want to say. And insight usually has a sensation that goes with it. You're learning something about your body, about your hamstrings, about your balance. And pick one and hold the space to recognize your own greatness. So this pose, traditional name of this pose is Ardha, which means half. Hanumanasana, named after Hanuman. And the story of Hanuman is that he was always, the poses have stories, just like think of them like Greek mythology stories, same thing. And so Hanuman was always like from childhood and to adulthood seeking outside himself for different things, like always like never really knew that he was good enough, never really knew that that he was capable. And so everything that he did, and people saw this about him, everything that he did um, was either like, like he would do things in excess, not knowing that he was, just capable of doing the thing himself, or being the thing himself. And so he was always like excessively trying to be around certain people, or, do certain activities. And one time he was, I think in the story, he's like young adulthood, so it doesn't really matter, but it's, not a child. It's been a long time coming that he was acting out, let's say, like just being like a crazy kid. So he was like, someone found him. Go ahead and take a standing split now. So stand on your front foot, take your back leg to the sky. So someone found him sitting on his knees, which is hero's pose, another pose named after him, sitting on his knees and just like crying, like begging for something, like mercy, let's say. And they were asking him, why is he begging for mercy? And he said he just couldn't find Ram. And to him in this story, Ram was God, or the universe, or whatever whatever word you use for it. And so he was seeking Ram, and he was so upset, like beside himself, hysterically crying, because he couldn't find it. He couldn't have that experience of divinity or love. And so this person was telling him, like, Hanuman, what you've been seeking forever, it's all inside you. And so in the story, he like rips open his chest, and there's a picture of his depiction of Ram, or God, or the universe. And he like has this light bulb moment. Take ragdoll or yogi squat. Last ragdoll, last yogi squat. He has this moment of like, whoa, what I've been seeking outside of me is right here. Is right here inside. The love I've been looking for, the divinity I've been looking for, it's all right here. Roll onto your back. Take your most favorite, most comfortable on your back pose, something that feels restorative. If your hands are free, take your hands to your belly. Actually go one belly, one heart, in honor of Hanuman discovering like what's right inside, the love and the strength and the divinity that's inside. If you're using your hands for your pose, and I see some of you are, visualize those spaces, your hand on your belly, your hand on your heart. Drop your knees to one side, supine twist. Switch. Lay on your back. Stretch out your legs comfortably. Take one hand to your heart. We'll end with a couple affirmations. I am strong. I am loved. I am resilient. Drop your arm and rest. Shavasana. Inhale. Exhale. Roll to your side. And come up to a seat. Press your hands at your heart. Send the message of strength and love and resilience from you out on your own. Imagine your own like a vehicle. Breathe in. Together we say, Namaste. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Danielle.
You're welcome. YTT, stay with